All right. Monday, October 1st, 2024. Let's do a quick stock options cryptocurrency market update. And as I say this, I have not a lot's changed, okay, from week to week. But I mentioned it last week. I'm going to mention it again this week. We are hitting some targets, some multi-month targets in the market, which begs the question, has the markets already run their course? And so here's what I'm talking about. Take a look at the S&P 500. So year to date, the SPY is up 23%. Now, we had a target that started right here with this wave 4 buy. If you want to look, if you're looking at Elliott Wave. All right, Elliott Wave again, and I'm not going to go into the details of Elliott Wave, but it's a 5-wave, what we look for as the 5-wave extensions. And we call this a wave 4 buy. You're buying off the 4, heading into the 5. Might even call it a wave 5 buy, depending on how you look at it. But this is a wave 4 extension trade where we're trading the 5th and final wave, right? So we see that because if you go back to the beginning of the year, part of the beginning of the year was the conclusion of the wave 3. We had a 33% pullback to wave 4. We went above 500. That became the buying target there. And of course, we ran up. We had a pretty significant pullback back in July and August, but that held. And so that brought us on to our wave 5, which is currently at 101% target. So we hit the 100% target. We're at 100. Now, if this were to continue, and there's a very good chance it can because it's really tight up in here, then we would see us going up to probably around 600 on the S&P. And there's a very good chance that will happen by the end of the year, okay? But if you're looking at support levels are 567. That's the lows for October. And then down around 540, that's the lows for September. And of course, you just keep looking at lower, at these higher lows that have happened. I just took the first 2 to show you where technically we're finding support. That's SPY. Now, where is the canary in the coal mine? I think this is it, the bond market. Because the bond market, we were looking at a 5-wave move to the upside for bonds too. And so we had that little turnaround down here in April and May. And again, as this moves up, interest rates go lower. And that's exactly what happened. So we started the beginning of the year just around 100 on TLT. We cranked all the way down to 87.5, back up to over 100. This lasted all of about a week. And so this is looking like a wave 3. We're looking for a wave 4 pullback. But what's happened in the last couple of weeks is we've dropped down, and I reevaluated this. And if this is truly our beginning of the move higher, this wave 4 pullback has pulled back 65%, right? So if you know pullbacks, they happen 38% pullback, 50% pullback, and 62 is supposed to be the lowest pullback that you can have. And even then it's uncertain. We've hit 66.56 or 65.56 down here at the bottom. So I've got this to uncertain. TLT is down 5.6% this year. So, and that's after a rate cut that we just had. So here's the rate cut that came in. And then for the month of October, we've went from the high 90s to the low 90s. And so, interesting as it may be, the economy's strong. So the way this is setting up is that either we're not going to get a rate cut, although when you look at most of the betting pools out there, we're going to get a 25% rate cut. Maybe we do. But it's looking more and more like the bond traders are saying, no, I don't think so. Support levels are at 90, which is right here, and 87.5, which is the lows for the year, down 5.6% year to date. Let's look at oil. Oil's going to come right back into where it was. We had this bearish pitchfork. We ran out of that pitchfork for a couple of weeks this month where we went outside of that 73 area, ran all the way up to 78. We're right back down, and we're back at $71.89. So back inside the pitchfork. USO's up 6.4% year to date, but oil has been trending down, especially since the summer. And seasonally, we should continue to trend down, at least throughout the rest of this year and into the first month or two for 2025 before we start to see a seasonal bull. But, with what's happened here, again, this pattern has become a lot of uncertainty as well. But still, oil is up 6.4% year to date. Gold, 31% up year to date. So far, this is the highest thing we've seen. I don't expect to see gold making these kind of yearly gains, but coming out of 2024, we were below 190, and then we charged higher in March and April. But you know what? Something gold didn't do that a lot of other assets did is gold didn't pull back. It stayed in a wide range of around 210 to 230, higher lows, higher highs, and then the explosive upside we've had in September and October, which took us from 230 to 251.84. So I have 262 as a potential higher upside target. I would expect to see the S&P go higher in order for this to happen. But I mean, it's broken out. Support's down here around 240, which was the low for the month. But who would have thought gold would outperform the S&P 500 this year? Well, that's actually happening. There is one thing, however, that is still even more outperforming, the biggest outperformer of the year, and we're talking about an asset classes, not individual stocks, and that's Bitcoin, up 120% year to date. It's having a day today, though, folks. I mean, we came up to 69,000 over the weekend. And of course, we've dropped back down. I think we're probably off about 2,000 or so since then. Getting a big outside bar that's happening with BTC. And so if I were to just take a look, I just want to take a look at live what's going on. BTC, yeah, 67, pretty much where we are right here. But we did drop lower. We dropped into the 66s and trying to find a bottom there. But it was bound to happen because when you look at what goes on with Bitcoin, when you get these series of up days, somebody comes in and puts a big sell order out and pushes it down. The question is, and this has been happening, you get these 2 or 3 days down and then it rotates back over. Is that going to happen again? I've got the big support level is 59. The big resistance level is 73.5. Upside target, we get above 73.5. You take that range that has happened, that down range since March. You take that range and add it to 73.5, and we're talking about something upside of 98,000, which is very, very doable. I think Bitcoin has just been it's like a spring, it just gets tightened and tightened and tightened. And when you release that thing, it's going to get a surge. It's going to get surged one way or another. Could surge back down to the bottom. All right. But that's where we are with all of the big major assets. So in summary, for overall assets, the markets still continue to trend, and there's and mostly intact in the year's end. And I'm talking about stocks. I'm talking about commodities like gold, and I'm talking about assets like Bitcoin. You still have the bond market, which is a bit shaky, and that's causing volatility right now. Volatility is starting to climb into the election. And I mean, it's starting to climb upward as we head into the election, right? And we've got the last full week of October this week. Then all eyes are going to be pushed to November 5th.